And welcome back to Time to Play Sonic 3 Part 3. We're at Carnival Night Zone. I was about to say Casino Night Zone, but that's wrong. This isn't... No. We're at Carnival Night Zone. It's all festive with all the balloons and the lights and everything. It's all neon. It looks great. So, from last time, well, those of you who remember Part 1, holy crap, there was just... I can't even repeat myself on that, saying that so many times, but... Good grief, were there just so many problems in that one. I think it's fun to go back and reminisce about how many crazy things happened. Part 2, not all that much except for... Oh, I'm surprised I made that. Oh, wait, how did I do that? How did I just instantly get back off? Wow, I don't even... This version from the Genesis collection might be the most glitchy, but it's kind of the most fun one to watch, so that's a plus. So in part 2, we had the Eggman copied Luigi. That was interesting. That was a thing. And let's see. I was also talking about like the gimmicks, and I will bring that part back up because there's a certain gimmick in this area that I definitely want to talk about, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get there before right in the middle of my next what I really need to go back and talk about, and that is last time I directly ended off the Time to Play by talking about if I ever did a Patreon, what exactly would I do for rewards? Honestly, it would take a lot to convince me to do a Patreon, just knowing that there are people that would actually support this channel. But as I said in the previous video, no, I'll leave what I said in the previous video in the previous video. If you want to know how I felt about even starting Patreon in the first place, check that one out. I haven't started it. Not entirely sure if I'm going to. Kinda really don't want to, but if I ever do, these are the ideas I've had for rewards. Now, the first two rewards, or, you know, the general ones, the obvious ones, is the take a request for a review or a list, and... I think I'm doing pretty good again. I'm getting the hang of this. These bonus stages have been messing with me for a while, but I'm kind of getting back into the hang of this. But I'm not going to go for those coins. Coins. They're not coins, they're rings, I'm sorry. My mind's in other places right now. Yes! Yes! I have finally claimed the third Chaos Emerald after how many failed attempts? Oh, I have broken it. Oh, I've gotten past 2. I am so bad at this game. Okay. So, back to Patreon. The whole requests for reviews and lists. Okay, I would definitely have to put an asterisk by that and just say, like, they would have to meet my approval first. Like, I would have to be okay with it, and that kind of sucks for a reward because it shouldn't have it shouldn't have to do something like that for a reward. I think I just went back. Oh, remember what I said in part 1 and how I was talking about launch base and I didn't like zones that sent you back to previous zones? This zone, I think it might be worse than the launch base zone in that regard, and I've always hated that. So, Marble Garden Zone was definitely my least favorite in this whole game, and then they put this one, which is probably the second one I don't like the most, right after it. So it'll be fun to get these 2 levels done back to back, and then I can move on to Ice Cap Zone, which is fun. It can be fun. It's not the greatest, and I don't think it's the best in terms of the snow levels that we've gotten from Sonic. I have that list. I've had that list done for years, if you ever want to check that one out. But it's so. Why would I be so picky about that? Why would I put an asterisk by that? Well, there are certain things that requirements that would have to be met for a list and for. I'm never going to finish talking about Patreon, about what I'm talking about in my first place, because I want to talk about this. And that little gimmick right there. Okay, I don't recall ever being confused or never timing out because of that. I think it was pretty easy once. Not easy, but it was just like once you finally figured it out, it was just push up and down on those little cylinder things. The gimmick itself, I don't like, but at the very least, it seems like it fits in place in this area. Like, it feels like it's a bounce house sort of thing that you have to control yourself. So, I'll give it that. In terms of how gimmicks go with Sonic games, this one actually feels like it's the most in place, or the one you don't actually kind of question. So, good on them for that. I have to give them credit for that. So, if I can ever finish this one, we'll find out. Ow! Okay, so what would I have? Little restrictions on Patreon, the 2 basic Patreon rewards. Well, first of all, I'd have to have the game in order to take the review, right? Obviously, right? I mean, unless they're actually going to send me the money to go get the game. And in that case, it's like, some old games could be really, really expensive. How many of you have heard of Panzer Dragoon Saga for the Sega Saturn? My brother's Sega Saturn doesn't even work anymore. So, how does this boss work again? Oh, that's right. It has to run into it, and I have to jump into it to make it open up so it can hit it. And I need to make sure... Okay, cool. That was easy. Don't know what I was about to worry about. So yeah, obviously I'd have to have the system, and I'd have to have the game in order to take the review recommendation, or the... Yeah, I guess it's a recommendation. No, not the recommendation. The request. So, that right there is one thing. Another thing is, you know, you can't just... it would be really painful if somebody actually did put in a lot of money for Patreon, and asked me to do a review of the game that they really, really enjoyed, and then I just think it's terrible or something like that, and then they were heartbroken, and then they feel like they've been betrayed or something. So, so I guess you can understand what I'm trying to say here, is that if I ever did that, you have to be okay with what I'm going to say about the game, because that's what you wanted. You wanted my thoughts and how I would recommend it to other people. So, yeah, I'm not sure how many... I would hope a lot of people on my channel would be okay with that, but that's still something that concerns me a little. Well, that, and also, I'm not sure how I would do M-rated games, because I'm still trying to keep this all family-friendly, but, I mean, I'd have to find a way. I'd have to find some way of doing it. And for the list, however, oh man. I mean, I recently got asked a while back if I would, and I'm sorry to whoever sent this request, but this was one of a request I just looked at and said, "Bye, Tails." Yeah, that was my response. "Bye, Tails." It was 10 favorite Sonic couples, and I just looked at that and went, no, that doesn't sound like I can make a good list out of that at all. So, I'd have to be... So, a lot of lists would have to be approved by me first, for the request, so... Wait, what? I'm sorry, that spike wasn't even there. I'm gonna show that in slow motion. I don't think that got me. Alright, I am going to finish this whole Patreon thing if it kills me. And it probably will kill me, so that's gonna be somewhat enjoyable. But yeah, I would have to approve of these requests first. And I also want to... Wow, okay, I think that's a second spike that also showed up without showing up. So, stay away from the Genesis Collection on the PS3. Unless you want to make it a more interesting, glitchy, more difficult time to play, in which case, maybe that's what will make this such a... Hopefully that'll become a big hit on this channel, is just seeing all these glitchy things happen. My goodness. I certainly don't remember that from the Mega Collection on the GameCube, so... I don't know, but I'm gonna finish this, what I'm trying to say about Patreon right now, if I ever did that, and about the whole request thing. So, with those two things and how they'd have to be approved, I mean, it would also have to be a list that would just say, okay, that sounds like fun, that sounds like something I can do, or I would at least have to have had a good knowledge of the series. So if somebody were to ask me, like, a list about Metal Gear Solid, I'd have to say, unfortunately, I do not have any expertise in Metal Gear Solid, so you wouldn't really get a good list out of me on that one. So it kind of sounds like I'd have to take the two basic rewards and not do them, or just like have so many rules about them that it doesn't sound fun anymore. So that's one reason I don't think Patreon would work for me very well. However, there is one idea I had that I'm not sure if I can do this, but I would love to do this if I ever did it, because I don't think I've heard anybody actually do this yet. I'm not sure if I can, but I would do it. That is gonna make me suffer. And that is, not what just happened. I'm talking about when I lost my bubble shield, not about this part that I'm about to talk about. At least I don't have to worry about air anymore. And that is an extra way to give back to my Patreons by giving back their, like, some of the money. Like, I know it just doesn't sound like that much, like that big of a deal, but it's like some of that money, give it back by having like tournaments and contests. Hold like a special Smash Brothers tourney, and the winner gets like a $20, $40, or $60 code for PSN or Wii U eShop or Xbox Live or Steam or even Amazon. Just something in general where I can just give out a code. I would go down, I would buy the card, I'd get the code, and then I'd send it to the winner. So that's something I would like to do if I ever did that. Because I think it would sound... That was weird. Because I think that sounds like something a bit more interesting than what a lot of people are already doing. So there's my two thoughts on that in regard. You guys let me know. Does that bother a lot of you guys that I would have so many restrictions about the requests if I did that? Because the reviews might be one thing. I might be able to get away with those, but the list would definitely would need solid approval no matter what. Especially if somebody's going to try and send in like a request to do like something that might be offensive. And that's something I'm definitely going to stay away from. That is not what I want to do on my channel. So yeah, I definitely have to be very careful about that. I don't want to have like, here are the lists I have planned, pick which one you want. I don't want to do that. I want their own input about an idea about what they would like, but it has to fall within what I can do on my channel and what I am capable of doing. So I think that sounds a bit better. And you know, I haven't done these bonus stages yet, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. No, can I... I guess I'll take that. I kind of want to get the electric shield, but... I'll just take the 1-up and go. So yeah, a chance to actually give back to the Patreons and just have like tournaments with specific codes that you need the code in order to even enter the tournament, but only given to like Patreon supporters. So that way it's only for them. Because there was like one comment last year when I did the Show Me Your Moves, or when I first started that, and there was somebody who joined and left a comment saying, I joined, but I'm not going to play. I only joined so I could steal the spot from someone else. So yeah, to make sure that that doesn't happen, I would have to make it as a code. Can I get through there? Okay, cool. So yeah, that's what I would do with Patreon. I would use, if I ever did start it, the money would definitely go for a new microphone, maybe new editing software, maybe try out some new programs and get some extra special effects if I can. What else? Maybe one of those filters for the microphone, so you know, you don't get a lot of well, I think a lot of you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I can't really get it, like the wind volume on it, I guess. And other little things that were protected and make it sound more professional. I don't think there's anything in there, is there? I don't even think I can reach that without using Tails. So we're just gonna move along. So, yeah, I mean, and I guess I'd also probably use it for games, systems, and the like, but I would never use it for like for food or to go out to dinner or anything like that. It would be used specifically for anything that's going to be directly related to the content on the channel, like the games and the equipment to make it. So that's one way of doing it. But I don't have any plans to start Patreon yet, because I just don't think that I'm going to get a lot of support for it. And I think a lot of you guys can see why. How does this boss go again? It seems pretty easy. Well, that was nothing. In fact, this whole zone was nothing. This was... Huh, this felt nice. We're already moving into Ice Cap Zone. But I'm going to save that for next time. And I can't believe I spent this whole time just talking about what I would do for Patreon if I ever did that. But yeah, you guys let me know if there's anybody who would actually... if there's anybody who actually would go into Patreon for this for me. I'm just curious. Who are the ones who care enough about me to do that? And who are also over 18 years of age, and have the ability to do it. Yeah, that's another way of putting it. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. A couple of crazy spike moments, but nothing too bad and out of the way. I'll just stay here and freeze to death. And did I just see Sonic's shadow there for a second? Okay, you know what? I'm just going to end it there. So see you later, guys. Love you. Bye!